music turned down?
Excuse me, if anyone has a problem, please leave the crowd. Don't put that shirt on, please. All the rest of us. You better put that boy on.
Good morning. It is gratifying to see such a strong turnout at College Coffee this morning. Thank you for standing in this place today. Thank you for taking a stand against intolerance, racism, and uncivil behavior. The easy road is to do nothing. The easy road is to say nothing. The easy road is to ignore injustice. Your presence here is a statement that you cherish this university, its honor code, and the well-being and dignity of each and every member of our community. Your presence is a tangible response to the hurtful acts that run counter to everything that Elon stands for. Your presence today is more eloquent than anything I can say this morning. Today, our community speaks its values by gathering here on this commons and saying, "Not on our campus." Our duty in caring for one another and for speaking up for the values of Elon University must never end. For the rest of our lives, we are partners in building a great university. Civility, inclusion, honor, integrity, responsibility, respect. This is the mortar that locks each building block of this community together. Today, let us recommit ourselves to creating the strongest, healthiest, fairest, and kindest campus possible, where we can each develop to our fullest potential, so that we may each make our highest possible contributions to humankind. Please now welcome Vice President Smith Jackson for a reflection on what took place last week and individual actions we can commit to moving forward.
We applaud the members of our community who came forward last week to report incidents of racial slurs directed toward them while walking on the campus. Both of these incidents targeted African American students. We will not stand for this behavior. The legacy of African American students, faculty, and staff is an important part of Elon University's history, and today we honor that legacy and the bravery of two women, stellar students who were treated horribly this past week. These students and all of you who came in support of them today are causing a ripple that drives a new tide of understanding, acceptance, and celebration of differences on campus. The richness of our community comes from the uniqueness of each individual member. Each of us is different. These differences span racial, cultural, and geographic boundaries, gender and sexual orientation, and differences of thought, religion, and ability. While we may not feel that we often have the opportunity to influence world politics or global events, each and every day we have multiple opportunities to shape circumstances and have influence with those around us through both our words and our actions. It is within the sphere of the classroom, our group of friends and colleagues, students' clubs, organizations, and residence halls where students, faculty, and staff can join together to create an environment of respect and valuing of each person here on the Elon campus. Just imagine the impact that we as a university can have if each person here today is unwilling to be a bystander when we see hate or injustice. To achieve this vision, I asked you to consider one very important question. What is your personal commitment to create a campus community that is inclusive of all? A community culture that values and integrates the many differences in the human experience. We have a responsibility to each other. I ask that before you leave today that you will turn to someone and ask them what they can do and share with them what you will do to demonstrate your commitment to this important value and be able to truly say, not on our campus. Can I hear you say that? Not on our campus. You may also wish to write your comments on the whiteboards that are at Speaker's Corner, which is at the intersection of Mosley and Curry Athletic Center today. Thank you.
I would be happy to talk.
Thank you. One. First question that we have for you all is, what does a student do if this happens again, both at the incident and after? Is there a system in place to report these kind of incidents, and is there an investigation that follows afterwards?
I'll give you my partial response and then invite Dr. Jackson to do the same. I think the most important thing that I can say is to report it, to speak up, and not to be silent.
To whom? Who are we reporting to?
You can report this to the Office of Student Life, to the Office of Judicial Affairs, to campus police, to any number of campus offices, and they will immediately issue a follow-up.
The next question is, what efforts are you making to catch the culprits?
There is a very active police investigation underway. There were 2 incidences. The second incident, we strongly believe is not an Elon student. We believe it was someone driving through our community. And after it was reported, despite a vigilant police effort to find the reported vehicle, it has not been found. We have a number of security cameras on campus, and of course those tapes have been searched as well. We think that is a not, how should I say it, a not well-meaning person, to say the very least, driving through Elon and creating a world of hurt here. In the second incident, I can't say very much specifically, because there is an active police investigation underway. The victim has identified a student who she has positively identified as not the person who was initially suspected. And so I think one thing that I would urge this afternoon is to let the investigation and the campus judicial process work its way forward, and let's not jump to any conclusions here to ensure that another student is not unfairly hurt here as well. But both of these incidents are under investigation by Elon University Police.
What sort of resources do we have set in place to report these sort of incidents?
Well, I've already mentioned several. Smith, do you want to follow up on my earlier comments?
Just that the 2 students in each incident did absolutely the right thing. They call campus security and police, and that activates a system where we have a professional person on call And then we communicate that very broadly throughout the university administration to activate an investigation, to extend care to the victims involved in those circumstances, and to communicate to the campus, as we did, that this is something that's unacceptable. So there's a lot of different offices that are pulled into play when these are reported, which they were reported quickly and in the correct manner.
I would like to add that I was discussing this incident this past weekend with our Young Alumni Council, recent graduates of the university who have been out for less than 10 years, and one of them followed up with me over the weekend and suggested a program that's in place at another university, and I'm bringing this idea to my senior staff meeting that's going to begin in just a few minutes. And her notion is, again, this is a young alumna, that what we need to set up here is a system on our campus where her terminology was a restorative justice circle, an opportunity for learning to occur on the part of the perpetrator of these kinds of incidences. And I like that concept. And so I think it's an example of one of many ideas that are being brought forward. And that is not to say that we are not going to use the campus judicial system and other systems that we have in place right now as well. But I think this is a moment where I think we need to be creative and think about other ways that we can act constructively we are a learning community here. And if we're going to uphold the ideals of this academic community, I think we've got to make sure that we're not just constantly in a process of reacting, but figuring out ways that we can prevent these kinds of issues from reoccurring on the campus. And when they do occur, ensure that learning occurs for people who are causing injury to others. Last question.
What is being done to ensure student safety and that this doesn't happen again? And what are the consequences if it does happen again, aside from it being labeled as being unacceptable?
And what if it's physical?
How do you deal with people feeling unsafe? Why do we not have an equal opportunity representative to represent and protect the students that have these kind of incidents?
What if it escalates to more than just race, but religion, other kind of injustices?
Perhaps we should have an office that is specifically designated to dealing with these kind of incidents instead of students running around to find people that are going to represent and defend them.
Those are all great questions and comments. I thank you for making them. And what I would suggest you do is appoint some people to be in touch with my office, and that we consider keeping this dialogue going and providing specific answers to your questions. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for saying not on our campus.